Hey, y'all. Welcome. Happy Thursday, girl. Let's get into it. I know y'all probably like, where you been at? I had to go to Memphis for y'all know we had to lay Granny to rest, but I am back. I want to talk about all the exciting stuff that's going on for me. And I hope that somebody can resonate with this idea of moving to a new city and growing your business. Oh my God, this has been my dream, y'all. I know y'all probably already know. Like I'm from Memphis, right? And so I've been living in Dallas. It's 2025, so I've been living in Dallas for 12 years. And although I wasn't a business owner 12 years ago, it's just truly been a dream to be able to come to a new city and like start getting noticed. So I want to talk about some of the stuff that's going on with the business, the community, the brand, and especially for some of the ladies where maybe you are in a different city now and you want to start popping out. I want to talk about it. So happy Thursday, y'all. Let's get this banner on the screen, y'all, because next Thursday we're gonna be outside. Let me get my water here in Dallas. So we have our first locally sponsored event that's going to be sponsored by Veritex. We're going to be networking, and I'll be speaking next Thursday on July 24th at 6:30. So make sure you register, friend. Make sure you RSVP because it is going to be a time. Okay. So let's get into it today. I want to talk about some of the stuff that I felt like was difficult and some of the stuff that I feel like I've done to really start like getting outside in the city. And here's the thing, I'm just getting started, but I'm just so excited to not share all of the stuff that I'm doing to like grow my business and stuff. And it just feels so good. I should have turned my arm before I got on here because I'm so hyped. Okay. So happy Thursday. Y'all already know how we start off the show. What are you gonna conquer today? What are you gonna conquer this week? I have been in a season of partial rest just because of the grief, just because of my grandma passing away. So my daddy passed away in February. Here it is at the beginning of July. My grandma passed away. So that grief was like, woo, child. But of course, I refused to let it knock me down. So I've still been jumping in and stuff. So I want to kind of talk about that, okay? So happy Thursday. What are you conquering? I know for me, oh, let me mute my email, child. I know for me, I'm still kind of like, I don't want to say resting, but I'm just like taking pressure off myself. Have you ever had a season in your business where you kind of had to like take the pressure off? And even when I'm like taking the pressure off, so much amazing stuff is happening. Okay. So, first things first, we do have our event next Thursday on July 24th. I've got to tell you all about this because I don't think that people who are watching me truly realize like the community that we're building and what's going on because I have this opportunity because of one of the girls that are inside of my community. I always talk about this idea of us showing up online, us marketing and stuff, and we kind of expect people to come to us. But inside the Conquer Club and the community, and even some of the leaders that I'm seeing dominating the marketplace, I'm understanding how much if you want to go faster, if you want to start, skyrocketing past your peers, if you want to start skyrocketing past the competition or where you were, you actually have to be brave enough to go and get opportunities for your business. And so I'm learning that. And I feel like that's what's giving me a big competitive edge over my peers, where it's just obvious that I'm moving different. It's obvious that different opportunities come to me. It's not because the branding is good. Don't get me wrong. The branding is good, but it's not only because the branding is so good. It's also because once I do stuff like get on these live shows, I also go after opportunities. I ask people, right? And even like yesterday, okay, I was trying to make sure y'all can see this on TikTok. And even like yesterday, when I did the podcast, the reason why I was able to get the opportunity is because I asked them. I simply asked. I said, "Hey, I see you're doing this. I'm Deb. This is what I'm doing. So what's up?" Like being bold enough to ask, right? So I even just want to share that, right? Even if you're watching me and you're enjoying the journey, it's also because I'm being bold enough to ask, right? I'm being bold enough to ask. Hey, Mimi. Mimi says, "Hey, it's Deb. What's up, girl?" I should have cut my urn on before I started going live on here earlier. Because I don't want my makeup to blotch up, child. Because I need to actually do some content today, but I ain't gonna do it. But my face looks oily on TikTok. I ain't gonna do it though. There be some days I'm really feeling it, some days I'm not, which is why the days where I'm do feeling it, I try to do as many videos as possible. I be like, baby, if you feeling good, you need to do 20 videos, okay? So I need to start doing more. I need to start doing like 40, 50, and 60 at a time. So what's up, Mimi, though? So happy Thursday, y'all. So yeah, just getting bold enough to start like asking for what I need in my business, asking for what I need in the community. Hey, mama. She says, "Good morning, Deb, darling. Hey, mama." It's something that really changed inside. You know how it is like when you start building your business online, but then you go outside, like you go to like a networking event or like you go to a conference or you go somewhere where the other women amongst you are also growing their business, like it does something to you. And me doing that podcast yesterday, I'm even asking myself now, how did I get to this point? And this is my first local podcast here in Dallas, but progress over perfection, right? We got to embrace the journey. But something shifted inside of me to where I'm like, bruh, like, oh, like it's here, it's happening. And I used to always think like in my business, like success or like going on the road to it meant that I was waiting for some big arrival. Like I was waiting for some big thing to happen or to hit $1 million or to, I don't know, get a sponsor or do like I used to always think that it was like this journey to like this big thing where I was like holding my breath and waking up and hustling every day to like arrive somewhere. And what I'm realizing now, and this is so good, what I'm realizing now is the destination that I'm waiting for, like that big break, that big thing. I don't know, like I'm still ambitious about it. But the journey of it is actually what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like all of the challenges, like all of the BS that come with it, but all of the wins. Like that's it. Of course, we're still working towards doing all of the amazing things, but just going on the journey and just doing it. Like, I was just telling my husband, I was like, the destination is the journey. So if you think that the destination is like some big thing of arrival, I feel like you're always going to kind of like hold your breath and maybe play small because you're waiting for something. But me, I'm like, bruh, I wrote down in my journal earlier. I was doing my notes for today. I was doing my notes for my speech next Thursday that I have to do because I really have to step up the way that I present in person because of the type of opportunities that I want. So I was making some notes. I've been watching keynotes on YouTube religiously every single day for hours at a time. And I've also been listening to audiobooks about like sales and psychology for like hours at a time because I really, 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 really have to grow my business, right? And so in my journal, I wrote down this morning, slow down, it's already happening. I wrote, slow down, it's already happening. And the reason why I wrote slow down is because I feel I love the pressure of entrepreneurship. Like people be like, my grandma just passed away. I just went to Memphis for the funeral, came back traveling. It was a lot. And so when I came back, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give myself a day to chill. And I end up kind of like giving myself a half a day. And I was like, well, I'm gonna try to work a little bit. And I was on the phone with my friend, and he was like, friend, be kind to yourself. It's okay. And I was like, it is okay. I was like, but a part, like, I love the grind, not the grind of like working yourself to the bone, but I love the challenge of building this business. I love the challenge of figuring out what's next. Like I love the building blocks of it. Like it feels good to me. It fuels me. Like I love it. But you know what I'm saying? It could be a blessing. It could be a little curse, friend. Because the very thing that makes me different, that makes me ambitious, that's making me skyrocket past anybody that's trying to do what I'm doing, like the reason why I love that is also the reason why I can put too much pressure on myself sometimes. It can also be the reason why I don't rest when I need to sometimes. It can also be the reason why I don't show up for other people like I'm supposed to. So I had to give myself a reminder to slow down, like Deb is happening. And so my dream, one of my speaking dreams, which we're gonna see this manifest very soon. I'm not even worried about it, right? Which is why I can share it with you. Is for me to be able to do my first TED talk, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, I need to go ahead and get these pet, like I need to get on stages so I can prep. I can prep. I can prep. Like I need to get on small stages so I can learn mistakes. I can master, see how to work the crowd. Like I need to do all this small stuff so I can start getting to my bigger stuff. But I'm keep telling myself, like, slow down, it's already happening. And even with my events, like I just got connected. They was, oh, I can get you a sponsor for Conquering Cocktails, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, slow down. Like it's already happening. It's here. And what I'm starting to realize is like everything that I want for my business or everything that I want for my next level, like I just got to be bold enough to like ask for it or go grab it. You know what I mean? Like I got to be bold enough to go ask for it or to go grab it. And I feel like there have been too many seasons in my business where I was just like, I had it, the network, the people, the everything. But because I wasn't bold enough to go grab it and be like, oh, okay, this mine. Or be bold enough to say, oh, well, I belong over here with y'all. Like, what's up? I'm Deb. What do I need to, like because I wasn't bold enough to insert myself or to go claim what was mine. I feel like I missed out on so much, but it's okay, baby, because we're here, we're learning. And some of that smaller stuff, child, it was just us getting ready. You got to have your chapter one, chapter two, chapter three, chapter four, all that stuff. So I'm excited. I'm excited about us being able to have an event locally here in the city that I live in, which is DeSoto, which is really cool. It's dope to get connected to people who find value in what it is that you have to offer. And even the podcast I did yesterday, I feel like I always thought like my first podcast interview would be somebody who like already kind of like follow me and watch me and stuff. And because I'm used to kind of like meet people and they kind of like already kind of have an idea of who I am. But when I did the podcast yesterday, she was a little familiar with me based off the stuff that I submitted, but she hasn't like been there to like see everything. You know what I mean? Like the whole spiel, which a lot of people here on Facebook have been to like here to see the birth of Conquer and see everything grow. So I mean, I was just like, damn, like, tell me you out here doing it. Yes. What's up? What's up, my girl? Jacrisha says, happy Thursday. I love your hair. Yes, ready to be bold. Yes, friend. Happy Thursday, girl. Thank you, honey. This is a drawstring ponytail. Can you believe it? The drawstrings have really evolved. So happy Thursday, friend. I'm so glad that you tuned into the show. But yeah, I was just like, I'm playing small. Like, and I have these revelational moments like this where I'm telling myself, like, bro, I'm playing small. And it's not because I was trying to play small, like I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to. I was showing up, I was doing the things, but you hit a ceiling to where you're like, okay, the results that I want require completely different things. They require me to move different, talk different, dress different, act different, and not different in a way that's not familiar to you. Oh, but in a way where you're like, okay, I've been ready to kind of like accept this part of myself. I've been ready to accept the Deb that does these podcasts and this type of stuff, child, all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for the season of Deb. We're getting on the live show and hundreds of people watching. Like that's nothing, right? So like, just like, bruh, I'm ready. I'm ready. And we talked about this in the Conquer Club, how when you're growing and elevating in business, of course, I'm sure you're probably really into personal development too, because child, they go together hand in hand, right? The way to elevate your business is through personal development. But we talk about this in the Conquer Club, how when you're on that personal development journey, it's almost like you'll climb the ladder and reach the top of one level, only to realize you're at the bottom of the ladder on another level. You know what I'm talking about? You're like, whoa, child, I figured out how to do webinars. I figured out how they do all of that. You get to the top of that, and next thing you know, you're at the bottom of the ladder on how to get people to register and show up and stay to the end. And like you just like it's a journey of going up the ladders, and I'm here for it. Man, I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. So, the goal here with the show is just for you to think about what does that look like for you? And I see y'all tuning in on TikTok. Like, what does that mean for you? What does that look like for you? And I'm so excited about next Thursday because my message that I'm going to share is going to be about women that I'm coming across in the marketplace, which is women who have motion and then women who are building movements. And they are two completely different women. And I know for a fact that I'm meant to connect with women who are building movements, right? Women who are ready to start hosting events, even if there's two people coming to the first event. Like, because what I'm realizing too, and y'all tell me what y'all, why is my live? Okay, sorry. I was like, why is my live disconnecting? And what I'm learning too is the women in my community, do we want the money? Yes. Do we want the sales? Absolutely. Do we want the clients? Yes. But when I'm finding out about y'all, okay, what I'm finding out about y'all is more than anything, you want the ability to influence, lead, speak, pour, empower. And so I'm really creating a world where women can do both, right? Where we can do both. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited to talk about this idea of motion versus movement next Thursday, because I feel like that's what I really had to shift out of, was like somebody who had motion, but I didn't have movements. I didn't have my own events. I wasn't creating my own stages. I wasn't intentionally speaking, like I wasn't intentionally creating my own community. Like I just had motion of like popularity. And I feel like everything changed from me once I went from, okay, Deb, you got motion and that's cute, but are you building a movement? Like, are you creating spaces? Like the first event, it was 4 people at the first Conquering Cocktail. So, like, being bold enough to say, I'm going to go lead. I'm going to go create my own community. I'm going to go create my own stage. I'm going to go and ask people, do they want to buy from me? I'm going to go and DM. I have on my to-do list, DM 100 ladies today, because this is going to be my first day back in the office. Right. So, like, in this, nothing. I should be reaching out to 500. That's just the way I'm thinking. I'm like, that's a bare minimum goal, but I'm still so mentally and emotionally exhausted from my grandma's funeral this weekend. I feel like that's going to be the capacity that I'm going to be able to do. It's going to be reaching out to 100 women. And then I'm just going to have my assistant hop in and do follow ups from that because I'm exhausted. But I know that at the core of everything, it's also not about me. Man, when I was on the podcast yesterday, I'm gonna tell you something that I shared, and you tell me what you think. She asked me some really good questions. In season 9 of What's Good, shout out to Brianna. She was such a good interviewer and host. The episode is gonna be good. I hope that both the audio and video are available because it was really good. We had a really good conversation. Like I feel like I was just meeting a friend for the first time, which made it even better. But I talked about this concept of what I'm seeing in the marketplace with women and what I'm even understanding about myself as a woman and how I move is the way that we move in business is deeply, 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 and nobody can convince me different of how it's a deep, deep, deep reflection of how we feel about ourselves. The women that I see that truly like themselves, and I don't mean the women that are really put together, because I got some women that are killing it with no aesthetic, the aesthetic of what you think. But the women who really like themselves enough to just show up, they are getting down on the internet. And I want to run into women time and time and time again that if they're experiencing heartbreak with a man, if they don't like their body, if they don't feel cute, or if their mental health is severely impacted by something that's going on, it 1000% affects their business, the way that they show up, and the way that they have courage to be able to start asking for, sales and customers to get in the room to go speak. Because what they think about themselves is so low right now. And that's not limited to somebody that you think is ugly. This is the pretty girls, the fly girls, the married girls, the single and outside girls, baby. I have seen it all. What they really think about themselves deep down on the inside, whether or not they believe in who they are and what they have going on, is a deep, 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 deep reflection. And it's directly tied to how they show up for themselves, which is why I'm always unimpressed by certain things, because I'm like, friend, you could be turning up. And I even have to tell myself that. And I shared that because yesterday when I was on the podcast, I was talking about how I know for me, like when how I feel about me, it affects how I show up. Like I know when I'm like really feeling me, you know what I'm saying? Like today, I ain't even had no notes for the show today. I was like, baby, I'm finna wing it because turn me up. Like I notice how when I feel like that about Deb, everything changes. The way I DM changes, The way that I go live changes. The way that I speak changes. The way that I do my makeup and make sure my frontal glued down, like that changes. Like everything changes when I like Deb. Everything about the business changes. Me being on that podcast yesterday and talking about everything I built, I was like, nah, God, nah, hey, I'm doing it. I said I'm doing it. And when I feel that way about me, everything changes. But let me have a week where I look at Deb and I be like, now you ain't doing enough. You're her nappy. You ain't been to the gym. You scrolling too much. Like I know how differently I work when I feel that way about myself. But here's the crazy thing, friend. You already know what I'm about to tell you. Thank you, Lisette. I see you, friend. Feeling or expecting to feel like that every day is not it. It's not. But I know how differently I move. What's up, y'all? Happy Thursday. I know how differently I move when I like me. Not just how I look, which that's a part of it. We talked about that on the podcast yesterday too. Because when we don't like the way we look, nah, I ain't gonna lie. If can I be honest, put honest in the comments. There are a lot of people who say, "Well, I ain't doing all that. You want to do that social media stuff all day? You want to do all that? That's too much." I'd be like, "Okay, friend." But if you thought that you could do it and everybody would like you and applaud you and buy your stuff, would you do it more often? Yeah. Would you do it more often? Yeah. Okay then. For real. Precious said, "Happy Thursday. Caught you 4 minutes." Oh, thank you, girl. She says, "Have a fabulous weekend." Yes, honey. I need to be starting my weekend nice and early, honey. Last weekend was rough at my grandma's funeral, girl. It was rough, honey. We was grieving. Okay, we was truly grieving, girl. It was rough, girl. It was rough. It was rough. It was rough. But we here. Sorry, y'all. I have to make me a mimosa, child. This entrepreneurship at its finest. Because after this, I'm gonna knock out this little to-do list, and it's gonna be it for me. I'm exhausted. So, but yeah, so it's been cool. It's been cool. It's been cool. It's been cool. But that's what I want us to think about too. I want us to think about too. I want us to think about, I always ask myself about the work that I'm avoiding. I don't care about, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna mean it, and it just is what it is. I don't care about the applause and stuff too much because I know a day is coming when all of the people that applaud are gonna be the people that I don't know, laugh and hate, whatever. I don't care about that, right? So I know that everything that I got to do in the future has to be about how I feel about Deb. Because if I'm so enamored by applause and I'm so enamored by how much people like this or like that, when they don't like it anymore, when I can't fit their narrative anymore, I'm just not going to be able to make it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really careful about that. Like, I don't care about that stuff no more. Like, I love it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And it just is what it is. We move on because I'm realizing that the success of the business, the success of the day is always rooted in what I think about the girl that's in that mirror. Do I think she cute? Do I think she's smart? Do I think she's funny? Do I think she's wise? And do I think she's a problem solver? And when I don't feel like I'm those things, my business spirals. And my challenge for women who don't want to show up boldly for their business is for you to truly ask yourself, do you look in the mirror and see somebody that's a problem solver, that's cute? Hello? Somebody that can show up and do you see yourself as that? Because the women who see themselves as that, they be with it. They be like, what? But don't say, well, I don't do social media. I ain't got to do all that to grow my business. Really, because you think you're fat and ugly. Like, let's just call it what it is. I've been there. I understand that. And if that's the case, then either shut up and quit your business and just work at your job and just do what you're going to do, or get up and go to the gym and start caring for yourself and just do it scared. Like, there's only one choice that you have to make, and that's either to do it or not to do it. But I have to have an honest conversation every single time that I get a chance to touch a mic. If I get a chance to talk to women and we have to say it with honesty that the way that we feel about ourselves reflects how we show up. Period. This is not about you being perfect. This is not about us having it all figured out. This is about us being willing to do it scared. And this is also us being willing to go on the journey of making ourselves better. Shoot. I want to go eat. Y'all had one of those breakfast baconators from Wendy's before? They got one by my house. And in my app, I got a free breakfast baconator. But I know I want to do another podcast soon and I can't go eat that breakfast bacon. It's a simple choice, bruh. It's a simple choice. You know what I'm saying? And we've got to be honest about that. We've got to be honest about that. In my speech next Thursday, when I get a chance to speak, we're going to be talking about this idea of motion. The women who have motion, which I'm here for a girl with some motion, okay? But there is a different caliber of women, and that is women who are creating a movement. And you can see the difference on somebody's page when they got some motion. But how many of us have outgrown just having motion? How many of us have outgrown just, a little 1, 2, a couple of likes and a couple of stuff here and there? We're like, I want a movement. I want people. I want to be out there speaking and hosting and people showing up for me and me being able to influence. That's what we're going to talk about next Thursday. But I want to give y'all a snippet to that. So I'm going to be right back. So I want you to see this about Conquering Cocktails because we'll be having the next one here in Dallas and then we're moving to Memphis. And then I'll be right back for it.
Everybody, I'm your girl, Dr. Margarita Johnson, with and for Sisterhood, Executive Director.
Hey y'all, it's Keontae here from 36 Beauty, a makeup artist and esthetician.
I am here at the Conquer and Cocktails with Miss Deb Lester. You guys missed a treat.
I came here with the fear of not knowing what to do with my business, not knowing what the next step is, and I feel like I conquered that tonight.
The atmosphere was so intimate, authentic, and just to be able to be poured into as an entrepreneur was because I'm the one always giving and pouring, and so it just felt good to be in the atmosphere of fellow entrepreneurs where we can bounce off ideas, brainstorm, and just encourage, uplift, and support one another.
I just want to say overall though, this was amazing, like meeting the new people.
I've conquered, just got so many words of encouragement from people here.
I feel like I know what I need to do. I have the support that I needed. I'm riled up and I have that good energy. I'm ready.
It really helped me. And everything was so authentic. Like nothing was forced. Everything was real.
Miss Deb is coming to a city near you. I want you to get your ticket to the next Conquer and Cocktails. You will be blessed. Your life will be changed. So it's time to conquer.
Yes. Okay. I'm so here for that. Shout out to the girls that be coming to Conquering Cocktails. Conquering Cocktails is our signature event that we do. We've done it here in Dallas. We've done it in Memphis, Birmingham, Chicago, New Orleans, and Atlanta. So we'll be doing more of them. I think we've done maybe 3 or 4 here in Dallas. So no, we've done 4 here in Dallas so far. So we'll be doing the 5th one here in Dallas, which is so exciting. So shout out to the girls that are coming to Conquering Cocktails. It is our signature networking event, and it is a blend of a girls' night out and business networking. I think sometimes networking events are a little too uptight. You got to sit here and be like, oh, well, all that stupid stuff that's not even real. But and girls' night out is just, you be like, I don't want to do too much partying. Like I need to have a little serious conversation. So we've been able to blend the two into a really unique signature event that we do called Conquering Cocktails. And we play a signature game called Conquer or Cocktails, which allows you the chance to be able to talk more of a little relaxed girls' night or talk about business and inspiration. So shout out to y'all. I know we were hoping for July 26th for the next Conquering Cocktails, but we may be shooting for August the 2nd, just because my time away from home threw my week off. So yeah. Okay, let's get into. I'm gonna be talking about this next Thursday when we do the Southern Social Collective. I'm gonna be talking about this idea of having motion versus creating a movement. Okay. I feel like for a long time, when I first started my business, the only thing that I knew how to naturally do was create motion for myself, showing up, posting online, going live, making sure I got good customer service for my products that I was selling. Ooh, my computer gonna die. Oh, I don't want that. And so I was just creating motion. But I realized that it was a ceiling for like having motion. I would see like I was like, well, I want to like host events and stuff, but how do you even do something like that? Like that felt so out of reach for me. I wanted to do stuff like I created like an overview of everything that I want to do in my business, and I have it broken down into 3 different sections, and it's services, community, and products. And so I would just like I learned a long time ago from people that are way more successful than me that simplicity is best. So I really started leaning to that model as much as possible. But I couldn't comprehend how I thought you had to have like a huge following or like be super popular and then you can start like doing all of the things. But I was underestimating how much power it was in starting small. I don't know why I used to think that in order for me to have an event that's worth it, that it must be sold out and I said 5 seats left and people booked and it had to be a room full of 20 people, 40 people screaming my name and kissing the floor. Like, I don't know why I had that much pressure built up for myself to be able to host an event instead of saying, okay, I've never hosted an event before, but let me get 5 girls and let's do a mastermind. Right? So when we talk about motion versus movement, are you bold enough to start creating your movement, even if your movement starts small? Even if your first event is small, even if your first community is small, even if your first podcast is small, are you willing to start your movement? And this is the part of the journey where women who have motion and want to kind of start breaking into a movement, I feel like those are the things that if they can break into the idea of getting out more, um, doing something more signature, I feel like that was something that I was really missing. I didn't understand that um, you need like it's enough like you can't just like give tips or like that stuff is cool, but that just means you got motion. A movement is like this is my proven framework. This is what we like having something signature to you, a community signature to you, a show, a podcast, or some type of space that you can host that's signature to you. This is the type of stuff where you go from just having motion to like you're truly creating a movement. You believe in something, you stand for something. This is your signature framework. Well, this is our community around that. This is our product around that. This is our service around that. This is our podcast around that. This is our show around that. That's how you create movements instead of just having motion, which there's nothing wrong with being at the stage of motion, but there are some women who are ready to start movements. But you cannot start that movement if the first thing that you don't do is embrace yourself as somebody who's willing to give polarizing opinions about what you believe in. If you have motion and you want to start creating a movement, I'm going to be flabbergasted if you don't have your own community. Again, when you go into the space of, hey, creating a movement to be able to empower people, you can no longer be just the business owner. You have to be the host. I'm going to give you an example. Okay, I can give you 2 examples. I give you one simple example. Let's say if child, I got leftover plate over here, I would eat some chicken. I'm so glad it's not a camera because it looks so terrible. Let's say, for example, if I sold calligraphy pens, right? Y'all know the people that write real fancy, right? They do calligraphy. Let's say if I sold those pens, right? You can easily create a community for people who love calligraphy. So simple. No longer just a business owner, but a host to create space for people to talk about that thing. Let's say if I breeded pit bulls and that was my thing, that's my service, that's what I do. I breed pit bulls and that's how I make my money. I don't know. When that's motion and that's cool, but if you want to create a movement, you say, well, I'm going to create a community for people who like to talk about pits and their different eye color, their different structure. People can drop pictures of their pit bulls when they were puppies, when they got older, what they feed their pits, how they groom their pits, how they cut their fingernails. Do they pits do the dog competition that be on before things get like, I don't know. This is the difference between entrepreneurs and specifically women who have motion versus women who are creating movements. Big difference. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Are you willing to host conversations about your industry? Somebody that's a wedding planner. You promoting your service on Facebook and stuff, that's cool. That's motion. A movement is, hey, I'm going to create spaces for brides to talk about the final 90 days up to their wedding. Like, that's creating movement and influence. Your movement and influence doesn't have to be limited to just people like seeing your reels and TikTok. Okay. So this was, I'm just trying to free somebody today. Okay. An entrepreneur that has motion is terrified to create events, do podcasts, and create their own spaces. Not realizing that if you create space for that, you create conversation, relationship building, and so much community that buying from you is a natural no-brainer. If I go back to my example of the pit bull breeding business, right? It's called Conquer Pups. And we breed pit bulls. I'm going to create a community for people. It's going to be called Pit Bull Lovers Unite. It's not going to be Conquer Pits Community Group. No, nobody cares about that. Pit Bull Lovers Unite. Where whether or not I've been a customer of this business before, I can immediately say, hey, I belong in that community or not. You feel what I'm saying? And inside that group, I'm going to let y'all put pictures of y'all little puppies and talk about what you're feeding them and how you groom them and how much you love them and how he went with you to the grocery store and whatever. But when you need a pit bull, when your cousin need a pit bull, when your pit bull go on to glory and you want another one, when you see somebody else on Facebook saying they need a pit bull, who are you going to think of? You're going to think of Conquer. You're going to think like it creates a level of trust that is going to be necessary for you to be in the marketplace. Y'all, I've been getting online talking about going live and stuff for years, but I have to. There's another reason why I started doing a live show, because I'm telling y'all, it is going to be a necessary part of your business for you to have community like that. And I say this all the time, but this is why everybody has a major part of their business being media now. This is why everybody has a YouTube and a podcast, because having people in community and creating a movement is going to be the biggest asset. Now, I talked about this a little bit on the show. Well, I guess maybe it was the week before last. I'm not mad at AI. I love AI. I'm so here for it. But it's going to change the way that people do business so much. I think it's going to be able to deliver such high quality results, which is a good thing, right? I mean, hey, the world got to evolve. But AI is going to be able to deliver such high quality results that just being a really good business owner is not going to be able to save you in the future. What's going to be able to save you is what we're already seeing now in the marketplace, Where if you have people who are in your community or people who watch you or people who are tapped in, you're going to have assets. You're going to have something that the person beside you or AI can't do. Which is why I'm telling people creating movements and community and making sure you're building those parasocial relationships with your people. That's going to be key to making sure your business can even survive in the next couple of years. Hey, Demetra. Can't wait to see you this weekend, friend. Hey, girl. Can't wait to see you this weekend. So just being a brilliant business owner, if you're a woman and you're brilliant and you deliver high quality results, I'm going to tell you that you're going to be 100% obsolete in some years. If you do not have the biggest asset that you can have as a business owner, which is going to be people, a community. We've already seen this happen in the marketplace, right? And I love Gary Vee. Shout out to Gary Vee. I listen to him so much. I listened to him for a little bit this morning. I was listening to some more people and stuff. I got to tap in because I usually try to listen to him for about 2 hours each day. But y'all know how in the past, well, I'm a millennial, right? So I'm 34. So she said, oh, Lord, here we go with the AI combo. Let me over chat just in case. Yes, I love it. I'm so here for it. I think that I won't lose my train of thought. I got to train myself on how to not lose my train of thoughts. People who speak a lot, they say there's a way to train your brain so you don't lose your train of thought. I keep reminding myself I got to train on that. Oh, but what I was saying was we've already seen this happen in the marketplace where I'm a millennial, right? I'm 34. So when we was little, it wasn't the idea of like obviously the internet or social media or like doing something like this or business owners and having influence or influencers, like that wasn't a thing when we was little. Okay. Like when we was little, we had a Toys R Us catalog. You know what I'm saying? We had no hashtag. Like that wasn't, that wasn't a thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like when we was little, like this wasn't really a thing. So when we were little, the way that you marketed a business, like you would have like a radio ad or you would have like a TV ad or a billboard or something like that. That's how you advertised. And if you had money, you could advertise, you could dominate the marketplace. That's always how it's been. Always how it's been, right? But now in 2025, you got little Graceland here, who's 8 years old. Her family lives in middle of nowhere, Montana. And because she do slime videos every night, this girl got 6 million followers. Have y'all seen these kid YouTubers? This girl got 6 million followers. And what used to be where if a business had money for radio, for TV, or a billboard, they had the leverage. What's happened now is little bit old Graceland in middle of nowhere, Utah, she's got leverage because she's got 6 million subscribers. And if you send her these pins, they gonna sell out because she has one of the biggest assets that you're gonna be able to have in the marketplace, which is people. Having people, having movement, having community is going to have you sold up in the marketplace. And just showing up with some posts doesn't do it. Doesn't do it. That only gives you the motion. The movement means hosting your virtual events, hosting your in-person events, even if they start small, building up your community, even if it starts small. And let me tell you this, can I free you? Your community of what you have doesn't even have to necessarily correlate with your business that much. But you need spaces where if you really want to create movement for yourself, you have to have spaces that you host. You have to. You have to have spaces that you host. That don't mean you got to be on stage talking to 40,000 people, even though I can't wait till my 40,000 people audience day. Okay. But if that ain't what you want, then cool. But if you like Pokemon cards, then start you a Zoom group for Pokemon cards every Friday. I mean, like, what you want me to say? This is the big difference between entrepreneurs who have motion and entrepreneurs who are creating movements. Women who are creating movements, showing up is not enough. And I've talked about showing up for forever, but that's going to give you some motion, but it's not going to give you a movement. Shout out to Demetra. I got to repost it. She's hosting her brunch this Saturday here in Dallas. That's creating movement. That's creating movement. Is it scary? Yes. Do they start off with 500 people coming to the first one? No. But that's creating movement. Okay. So I want you to think about that as you kind of wind your week down or whatever you got going on. But I'm fired up. I'm fired up. I've been telling myself, I said yesterday, I said, baby, I cannot believe that I've been playing this small. I cannot believe that I've been playing this small in my life and in my business. I can't believe it. And you know how we always talk about listening to other people in a negative sense? There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't talk about like having haters and all that stuff like that because, I mean, who cares? I don't talk about that type of stuff. I don't care about that type of stuff. But I think also we have to be careful about us listening to too many people that gas us up too much too. Because when I had motion, before I was really creating my movement, people will gas you up so much to where you're thinking, I'm not even going to say you thinking it. People will be gassing you up and be like, oh, but you're doing so good. You're doing so good. You're doing it. Because they're comparing it to what they got going on, which is cool. You know, it just is what it is, right? It's no shade for us kind of going to the conversation. But if you have somebody who's never even dreamt of doing like half the stuff you're doing, of course, everything about your emotion looks incredible. But if the fire that's inside of your belly is telling you, like, I'm ready for movement, I'm ready for next level, like, I'm built to influence people, like, on my job, I influence, I empower, like, I do this so easy. Like, if your belly is telling you, I'm ready for movement, but the people around you are just saying that your motion is good enough, then, baby, listen to your belly. Listen to your belly. And I'm so glad that in so many situations, I've been bold and courageous and cocky enough to listen to my belly. I'm going to call it cocky. I like that for me today because I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. Feeling myself. You hear me? But I know what happens when I'm feeling deep. Oh, when I'm feeling deep. I know what happens in my business. I know what happens with the way that I speak. I know what happens with the way that I reply to emails. I know what happens with the way that I like go after opportunities. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You know, Asia, shout out to Asia. I just love her so freaking much. I love following Asia and her talking about personal branding so much. She made a post. And there was a one-liner and a mic drop. She said, you have 6 months. I said, Lord. You have 6 months. Not that life will be over at the end of 2025, but it's just a harsh reminder of how much control we really have. We've had so much control over the first half of the year. And hopefully you're in the group of us because you've been doing your thing. Okay. Yeah, she said, can't wait to love on you in person, girl. Me neither. I can't wait. I gotta find me something to put on, girl. She said, because this is cute. Okay. Thank you, friend. I'm telling you, girl, you know, as women, man, these are honest conversations we gotta have. When we really feel like we move completely different. We pick different men. Oop. We pick different outfits. Oop. We pick different hairstyles. Like, even if we broke and we gotta paint our own nails, like when we feeling ourselves, like we just move different. I can look at a woman's life and it tells me how she feels about herself. I can look at her man and it tell me how she feel about herself. I can look at how she show up for herself and it'll tell me what she think about herself. I can see it. My only ask is that we just do it with integrity. Some people be feeling themselves and be scamming. Shoot. But some of us be like, child, I wish I was bold enough to be a scammer because they don't care. They don't even care, child. You'll be like, how are y'all falling for this? I saw one, what was I looking at? I was looking at some type of was it a real estate? It had to be some type of real estate scam or something that I seen on Facebook. I can't remember what it was, but I was looking at it, I was like, how did you fall for this? You know what I'm talking about? Like, you ever see somebody like, child, when somebody gets scammed, you gotta go check and pound the page and be like, well, let me go and go do the rabbit hole and see what you had going on, friend. And you go to the person that they purchased from, and you just like, you need to call the lady. Cause how did you fall for this? How did you buy this? Like, based on how she feel about herself. I don't think I can say. It's the only thing I can say. It happens to all of us though. Can't be great 100% of the time like me, friend. I'm just playing. I'm doing too much. Not really. But yeah, that's how it is. I'm excited. I'm excited for Thursday. I'm moving a bit slowly just because of grandma's service this past weekend. I've also been vlogging, so I vlogged my day yesterday. I really got to step my YouTube channel up for this next season so much. And I have nothing but business content on there. So I vlogged while I was in Memphis and I vlogged my day yesterday. So I got to put that stuff together. We'll be in DeSoto. I'll be speaking next Thursday. We'll have our Conquering Cocktails coming up. And I know that I had planned a summit for the beginning of July, but with my grandma's passing, I'm just pushing it out for a couple of weeks. So we've really got to get that on the books too, so that I can teach y'all more about this framework that I'm teaching inside the Conquer Club. And it's really going to be around, I'm so excited for this message. Y'all, if you come to this event next Thursday, I'm going to change your life. I'm going to completely change the way you see yourself, especially if you're a woman where you've got a lot of motion in your life. I'm about to catapult you into another dimension for real, because I feel like it's 4 key things that I did when I was having motion online, but I wasn't building a movement. Like when I birthed Conquer, like it was a movement. It's events, it's framework, it's consistency. Like it's a movement. It's a zeroed in message that is a true movement. And I talk to a lot of women where you've got motion and you've got the pieces, but I want to teach you how to package it together into a movement. And I remember I was talking to one of my girls, Ashley. Shout out to you, Ashley. I gotta text her and check on them. But she was like, your business is so simple. And I was like, I'm learning that. Bro, everybody I come in contact with that make way more money than me and have way more influence than me, their models are so simple. They're about one big promise, one guarantee, a couple of frameworks and IPs and media. And they're making millions of dollars. So, child, I'm following the same framework too. Okay. So next Thursday is going to be good. So for the women who have a lot of motion, but you want to start creating movement and doing things to just really, really, really broaden the way you impact people, next Thursday is going to be for you, friend. Demetria says, I'll be there to support you. Yes, I can't wait. It's going to be so good. Yep, it's going to be so good. So happy Thursday. I said, when I get off my live show, I'm going to take me a break, come back, and knock these couple of things off my to-do list. So I guess that's what I'll do, child. I got me a leftover rotisserie chicken in there, so I'm probably gonna warm it up, make me a little sandwich. Turn my Pandora back on and knock out some stuff. I'm excited about what's to come. And I guess if I can leave you with anything today is kind of what I started with when I started the show earlier. And I talked about this idea of there's nowhere to arrive to. I don't know if you think that some big break is coming or some big thing is looming in the background, and if you just hold on to God's unchanging hand and everything's just going to explode. Like, nothing big is coming to blow everything up. There's going to be shifts for sure, and some of the shifts are major, but the journey of doing it every day is what creates that. Like, the journey of doing the small stuff, the journey of doing, like, starting with 2 girls, starting with 4 girls, starting with 10 customers, like, that's it. That's the only way you get there. You don't get there leaping from nothing to a raging community of 50 and a raging conference of 500 people. Like, girl, bye. Okay. So, but you're built for it. You can do it. And if you're inside the Conquer Club, you already know this the type of stuff that we work on for you to make sure that daily, weekly, and monthly you're moving in a way that's strategic for your business. You're planning ahead. You're showing up, being visible with your content, but that you also understand that you have to go and ask and sell and build your business and host and create your community and do all of the things so that you transition from just having motion on the internet to actually having a movement in real life. And those are 2 completely different women, baby. Those are 2 completely different women. Okay. So I want to get you to where you're having a movement in real life, something that's going to sustain you, sustain your business, especially if you're walking away from a job. We can't just talk about how to have motion online. And so I've been working on that for the past 3 years. And that's something that I really want to share in my message next Thursday. Okay. Have I been an hour? All right. I've been 58 minutes. I love y'all so much. Let me show y'all a little bit more about Conquer, what we stand for, what we do. And then I'll come back for probably the last little finishing word. So hold on, y'all. Let me show y'all more about. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. It's a lot of women in this room. Can I be transparent with y'all tonight? There is a facade on social media. Social media is fake. And what I want to tell every woman in this room who doesn't think she's pretty enough, smart enough, adventurous enough, sexy enough, social media is fake.
When sis say that she came to conquer, that's literally what she did. But it's something about that word, though. That's what I learned this event right here. Deb is in a really, really unique space where she is positioned to help entrepreneurs get over the fear, mostly of themselves. The fear of being successful, the fear of making money, the fear of believing that you can be a big business. Man, sis is breaking it down. If you need a business coach, if you need someone that can help you get you the step-by-step plays on how you can take your business to the next level, I gotta go ahead and say it. I gotta give it to her. You need to be contacting Deb Lester. That's Conquered by Deb.
Let me tell you this about content. Content is not something you create. Content is documentation. Come to the event today, take a picture, boom, documentation. It's gonna be like a documentary. That's content. You go up there and take a picture with Charmaine. I'm so inspired, this EP, yeah, that's content. I'm documenting my life.
Yes, I'm so here for it. Okay, so happy Thursday. Child, y'all already know I always tell y'all get up and go conquer. Do your thing, do what feels best for you. Maybe that's a season of rest. Maybe that's a season of, hey, I've only had motion and it's time for me to create my movement. But either way, I love to talk to you. If this really resonated with you, make sure you book a call. I do have some time available for tomorrow. I would love to talk to you about what this means for you, especially if you're interested in joining us inside our program, the Conquer Club. But Dallas ladies, I'll see y'all next Thursday. And y'all already know the vibes. When y'all wake up tomorrow, make sure y'all conquer, baby. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Me, the Conquer Club is a sisterhood. I didn't know a lot of these ladies. I have truly made connections, real friendships, bonds. I've cried with these ladies. It elevated my business so much, just putting a foot on the gas and stomping on necks, like literally. I'm really proud to be a part of this space, and I think this is what entrepreneurs need.